250 years ago today.
Let me first say that music was terrible. It sounded like an infomercial from an employee training video at Domino's.
Today, on May 17, 1776, the Second Continental Congress called for a day of humility, fasting, and prayer. Just weeks before they declared independence.
Also, I'm not sure I really like all the retouching or glamour lens that Tulsi Gabbard does. I think it's cool, but it's like, it's giving a little too polished.
Our founders didn't stride forward in pride. They knelt. They asked for God's mercy. They asked for his guidance,
right,
because they knew that the cause before them was beyond their own strength. Now today, exactly 250 years later, we gather here on the National Mall to do the same, to give thanks, to ask for forgiveness, and to humbly ask once more for God's mercy and guidance as we enter the next 250 years of this republic. Now, our founders knew their time was short. They knew that the road ahead was uncertain. The foundation of our independence.
Why did they know the time was short? Just
upon
natural.
The Supreme Soul.
How long a
human
human lives?
Now, all of us and all of our leaders need to get on our knees and prostrate ourselves before the Supreme Lord, acknowledging that we are totally dependent upon him for our success, indeed, for our survival.
Looks like Tulsi's having a little bit of a breakdown. Look, I get it that you want to exalt God, but isn't there supposed to be a separation of church and state? And she's telling everyone to get on their knees. What about the people who are praying every morning, noon, and night? I mean, or just for example, I mean, what about people that are already praying and exalting God and have already been on their knees? We need Tulsi Gabbard to give us a message, or was she just looking for some reason to grace us with her presence in full retouched glory?
Too often leaders in this world have our
And I like Tulsi, just by the way.
eyes covered by pride born out of our relative power, fame, or authority. We lose sight of the fact that we are tiny.
Look, Tulsi, this message is not doing any good. It's literally, look, so you had something happen where you know that people need to start speaking the truth, but just call them out. Call them out. That's what we need people to do. Look, I really appreciate Elon Musk lately. Back a few years ago, I used to go on X, Twitter, and look at Elon Musk and just say, why is he not calling people out? And as the years have gone by, I have noticed that Elon Musk is doing that more and more. Look, I give Tulsi props for getting on the horn here, for making a video. It's always better to be proactive and do than not do, but you're being a little vague here. How about you call some people out directly? Look, I know you want to make everyone happy, but let's go gangster, bro. Look, you're one of the youngest directors of intelligence, I'm guessing, of all time, and probably one of the first women, if not the very first woman. Like, come a little harder than that. I know what you're thinking. Don't say it.
Tiny, and our time on this planet is extremely short. And yet we see ourselves as the...
Why is she still saying our time on this planet's extremely short? She said the founders' time was short, our time is short. Look, I get it. I get it. We don't live very long, but what are you saying?
Controllers competing with each other over who is number one. But the truth is...
It's called competition.
There's only one number one.
Right,
and
duh.
That's God.
Okay, thanks for telling us.
Our leaders 250 years ago knew this. They knew that we could not rely on our own strength, our own fame, our own power,
One nation under God, yes. I
but we're
believe
completely dependent upon God's favor. And so they humbly approached that day of fasting
doing
250 years ago,
thing.
asking God for his protection, his guidance, his mercy. We are at this
every
time
day.
totally dependent upon God to light our path, so that we can successfully navigate the troubled waters that we are in into a future where our children and their children and generations.
I'm sorry, she's starting to sound a little like Kamala Harris, a more eloquent Kamala
freedom,
Harris.
And prosperity. So on this day, let us humble ourselves before God. Let us beg for his mercy and guidance. Let us be willing to forgive those who've offended us.
And the reason I say separation of church and state, look, some religions don't make you beg God. Some just say you can talk with God and he's your best friend. Look, there's a lot of religions out there, so, you know, you're not really doing a good job of keeping religion and state separate.
As we ask God to forgive us for our trespasses.
Lord's
and let
Prayer.
us all today, in the privacy of our own homes and hearts, take shelter in God's love and remember him.
I appreciate the message. I appreciate the message. I guess she has nothing better to talk about. I wish she would actually come on and give us some real information, something that we could literally digest, not just some regurgitated, polished speech. But, you know, I have a feeling that Trump doesn't let anything go out unless he okays it, which makes sense. But I wish Kash Patel, it's good to have a united front, but I wish Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, they all had a little bit more autonomy and freedom to do their jobs and just kind of come on and start their own little mini snowballs that can grow, as long as the president is watching it and making sure everything sounds good. I don't really see a whole lot of interesting stuff coming out of the federal government unless Trump delivers it. So I'd love to see some of these other amazing people supposedly say some amazing things, you know, but not quite yet. Not quite yet. If I was president, I would do it, though. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought of her message in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. As always, peace.